Hey guys, so it's finally time to go balls deep in Boku no Hero. So I lost my voice over the weekend, so I may sound kind of different and I may mess up some of these Japanese words. So let's get started with number 1. Boku no Hero Academia is written and illustrated by Kohei Horokashi. The first chapter was published on July 2014 in issue 32 of Weekly Shonen Jump. Since then, in January 2015, the manga was nominated for the 8th Manga Taisho Awards. It also won the 2014 Nico Nico and the Next Generation Manga Award. Later in April 2016, the manga was nominated for the 40th Annual Kodansha Manga Awards in the category for the Best Shonen Manga. And now the manga has sold over 200,000 copies worldwide so far. However, it wasn't always easy for Horokashi. Being from an Aichi prefecture, he had graduated from the Nagoya University of Arts. He was a former assistant for Yusuke Tanaka, the creator and author for the manga series Kagijin and Hitomi no Kabato Pass. Oh, I definitely messed that up. After creating a couple of one-shots, in 2010, Horokashi started the first manga series, which was Omodaki Zoo. Unfortunately, it got cancelled. Later in 2012, he serialized Sensei no Bouge, which was also cancelled in the same year it was released. 2 years later, in 2014, he decided to venture into his third attempt, which was Boku no Hero Academia, and fortunately it brought him success. A fun fact about Horokashi is that he actually prefers to keep his face hidden, so he wears a mask at times. However, there are pictures of him without the mask. Boku no Hero Academia was actually grounded off Horokashi's one-shot Boku no Hero, meaning My Hero. The one-shot was published within Akamaru Jump in the winter 2008. In an interview, he explained the reasoning behind him creating Boku no Hero Academia. In his own words, he said, "My second series was axed really quickly after such a short time of serialization, and I was pretty depressed about things and I didn't have the energy left to create new things in the manga medium. So I decided to add happy things and happy events that I had drawn in my previous works into this new series. Before, I was really happy drawing the one-shot My Hero, so I wanted to make that foundation and create something new from it. Although Boku no Hero Academia was based off his one-shot, the story is quite different. It also has many apparent changes. The Boku no Hero one-shot is revolved around Jack Midoriya, who works in a company that sells hero items and dreams of becoming a real hero himself. Jack Midoriya is changed to the younger 15-year-old Izuku Midoriya, which we all know, who is no longer a salesman but a high schooler. In the one-shot, Jack was shown to have a sickness of being fragile, showing him as a weakling as a character. Instead of Izuku, this was passed down to All Might's real form. Although the one-shot is very different, it's still worth a read if you guys are more interested in the background of Boku no Hero. There's also a comedy spin-off called My Hero Academia Smash, which is also a great read. The design and conception of the characters in Boku no Hero Academia went through many changes and various prototypes before their final version. Although Horokashi was using the one-shot as a foundation, he still decided to come up with something completely new. Even the names of characters changed throughout this process. In the case of Izuku Midoriya, his prototype was actually Yumi Kumo. Horokashi initially thought of illustrating him to look cooler by hiding one of his eyes with his hair, but later changed the idea because he was getting annoyed and felt it was a bit too dark. He later decided Midoriya's hair should look simple to fit his personality. Uraraka was initially going to be named Yu, but her name was carefully changed to give more relevance to her personality. Uraraka means bright and clear. Her given name is play on the term Ochonoko, which means a piece of cake. It could also be derived from the Ochapi, meaning a chatterbox girl. Uraraka was also initially meant to hold the position of the Mount Lady in Chapter 1, but Horokashi believed the power of gigantification would have made her stand out way too much. Katsuki's whole personality was going to be different. Initially, he was mapped out to be a natural-born genius who was more of a funny, kind and lovable character, who at times spoke without thinking and unintentionally hurt others, similar to Luffy from One Piece and Natsu from Fairy Tail. However, Horokashi found that to be a bit too boring and decided to make Katsuki a more of a repugnant and dislikable character who would play a part to rival Midoriya. Katsuki's name is composed of Boku and Bakuha, meaning explosion, and Katsu, meaning to win. Tennya Leader's first incarnation was illustrated before the school setting had fully been established. He looked more of a villain than the Tennya we know in the series. Although Tenya's name did not change, which can possibly mean that Horokashi always envisioned Tenya's power to be speed, as Tenya's name comes from Identen, meaning great runner. Tenya's costume also seems to be inspired from Jack Midoriya from the one-shot. It's also said his costume resembles Incursio from a Kamiga Kill. All Might. With All Might, or Tashiniro Yagi, which is his real name, Horokashi drew him with the intention of portraying an awesome looking character that every hero would want to be like. In his perception, it was someone with awesome strength and power. After drawing him though, Horokashi thought he looked cool, but the response he got from his editorial team was that they'd never look up to someone looking like that. They'd never want to be him. Horokashi's close friends' words were something along the lines of, "He looks like a weirdly jolly old man," but Horokashi gave no shits and went with the character design he already had. Quirks are split into multiple types: emitter, transformation, and mutant. Although the one for all isn't any of those as it has no assigned type, the first quirk belonged to a baby born in Xinjiang City, China. The baby was born as the luminescent baby, which basically means it's a baby that can glow really bright. The idea of quirks stems from an evolutionary concept where over the generations 80% of humanity have genetically evolved to possess abilities. This means that quirks are parts of one's DNA, which is why it can be inherited from the parents. A person may either have the same quirk of one individual parent or have a combination of both parents' quirks. However, these are instances where no quirks are passed down in the case of midoriya. Rarely, there are also cases where a new quirk is formed by mutation or the merging of two quirks, as seen with the one for all. And as seen with this quirk, some quirks have the ability to be passed without inheritance. The 20% of people who don't have quirks still have the last joint in the smallest toe, whereas the ones with quirks seem to have lost it due to evolution, as it was considered useless for the bodily function, meaning the ones who still has the joint likely won't develop a quirk. The quirk itself usually becomes apparent in children by the age of 4, but this is not always the case, as some can be born with it, like present Mike and the luminescent baby. Although it is very rare, it is also possible for animals to develop quirks, as seen with Mr. Principal Nedzu. Horokashi uses as many different sources to come up with new quirks, and he even based some of them from other mangas and American comics. He is also known to use fan suggestions for new ideas. For example, during November 2014, Horokashi asked his followers on Twitter to think of ideas for new quirks and send them to him. He then goes and says he might turn them into quirks into real heroes in the manga. Boku no Hero Academia was hugely inspired by American comics and their conception of heroes. Although one would think that Horokashi's favourite go-to comic would be X-Men with all its similarities, but in fact in an interview when asked what heroes he thought of with his inspirations, he mentioned it was Spider-Man. In his own words, when talking about Spider-Man, he said, "The concept of Boku no Hero Academia is built around the hero in mind. A hero to me is somebody that helps and brings reassurance to others." In Spider-Man's case, the first experience I had with this character was the movie, in which there were a lot of scenes with him rescuing people, which I felt that was really cool. Horikoshi didn't solely use American comics for his inspiration. He also related back to his favourite manga series, which include Naruto, One Piece, Akira, Tekkon Kinkuri, and Boys on the Run. Horikoshi also stated that Masashi Kishimoto's Naruto series was his primary source of inspiration. Kishimoto is a huge supporter of Boku no Hero. He praised Horokashi and believed the anime adaptation would be a huge success overseas. Kishimoto also drew Izuku and Naruto together celebrating the anime. Every move that uses the One for All quirk are named after states and cities from USA. For example, the Detroit Smash are named after Detroit, Texas Smash is named after Texas, and the Oklahoma Smash named after Oklahoma, and so on and so forth. This is because the manga creator Horokashi wanted to model All Might after American comic book series and heroes. Also, every user of All for One has a number in their name that correlates to what number the user they are. For example, the 7th user is Nana Shimura. Nana is Japanese for 7. Toshiniro Yagi, which is All Might, has the kanji for 8 in his name. And Midoriya Izuku has kanji of Ku, which means 9 in Japanese. As previously stated, Horokashi made a lot of changes from his original conception of the manga. One of these was that he changed the genders of a couple of his male characters to female, like Hatsumi and Asui. The reasoning was that he had too many male characters and wanted more of a gender diversity. In the end, he was happy with the changes he made. Boku no Hero Academia has some merchandise which some of you may want to be aware of, such as a tag card game and an arcade game in Japan developed by Takara Tomy that lets you collect hero cards and battle with them. In the game, you'll be able to create a 3-man team from characters in the series, but you need to collect cards to select those heroes. Each play will cost about 100 yen, which is about 90 cents in US dollars. There's also a companion smartphone app available on the App Store and Android Play Store. This is very much like the Dragon Ball Heroes arcade game in Japan, and recently in Japan on May 19th, 2016, a hero action game called My Hero Academia Battle for All was developed by Bandai for the Nintendo 3DS. It's a single player game which will follow the manga storyline up until the sports festival arc. Horokashi watches a lot of Hollywood movies and incorporates some elements into his series. For instance, Sensei, the true leader and founder of the League of Villains, his black ornate mask and life support system is inspired by Darth Vader's armor from the Star Wars franchise. Some fans even speculate that Horokashi picked up some elements of the Hero Academia from the 2005 Hollywood movie Sky High. Boku no Hero Academia will more than likely have a second series of the manga, much like what Naruto did with Naruto Shippuden, with a time skip showing Midoriya and all the other characters all grown up. In an interview, Horokashi was asked if he was open to the idea of a time skip at any point similar to Dragon Ball, Naruto and One Piece. Horokashi responded by stating that he has already mapped out the future version of the students as professional heroes, and has a potential idea for the possible title. Currently, he plans to call it Boku no Hero 2, the Electric Boogaloo, but nothing is set in stone. Horokashi wishes to dwell into the student's personal life as an adult at some point, similar to American superheroes' day-to-day life stories. He might even make it more of a dark theme, as Horokashi pointed out that one of his favourite comics is Spider-Man Reign, which is a mature comic that depicts the life an adult hero would have, leading the story to be more realistic and dark. Hopefully this will actually materialize for us fans. Anyway guys, spoiler warning, just skip ahead in the next 30 seconds because I'm going to be spoiling something here. Anyway, the origin of the One for All. Long ago, Sensei, the true leader and founder of the League of Villains, used his quirk that could steal and distribute quirks forcibly, and gave his quirkless little brother a quirk that stockpiles power. However, the little brother already had a quirk with no effect other than that it could be transferred to another. Sensei's little brother's quirk that could be passed itself on, and the quirk given to him by Sensei that stockpiles power, merged and became the One for All. So Sensei's little brother became the first user of the One for All. Anyway guys, I just want to thank everyone for watching this video. Make sure you hit the like button and let me know how are you enjoying this series. Do you like it more than One Punch Man? You know, pretty much I like it. I like watching it after work. We're pretty much going to do a review on it. That video will be out when the final episode is aired. And I also wanted to mention to you guys, if you guys like anime clothing, like, you know, you can see we wear anime clothes in our videos sometimes, you can use the link in the description from Designed by Humans and use our discount code, which gives you 10% off. So it's pretty high quality and I do recommend it. And honestly guys, thanks for watching and supporting us, and seriously check out our other videos. I hope to pump out more content in the future, and you know, thanks guys, man. Jeez, you guys are the best. Oh yeah guys, I just wanted to mention, follow us on Twitter, like the Twitter links in the description. I've been using it quite regular, and I post a lot of content on there, and I know you guys would appreciate it, and I appreciate it as well. And yeah, we're gonna get a new channel, and I hope you guys like it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.